This is something I've been waiting for a long time.
Then you wound up retiring from acting and you were doing behind the scenes kind of stuff, right?
If I'm being honest, it was tough to be an Asian actor at that time. As I got older,
you feel it's easier now?
Hello, my name is Amy and I'm going to be talking about the film Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm going to be talking about some spoilers, so I hope that you've seen the film already. I have two reasons for making this video. So one is that it really saddens me that when you look up videos about this film, the majority of the videos are from white men, and I think it's really important that I, as a Chinese American woman, try to voice my opinions on this film and take up my space on the internet to whoever is willing to listen to me. That's one reason, and the other reason is this film in particular I feel is one that I appreciate more the more that I think about it and really sit with it. So I'm gonna organize my thoughts around three of the characters, Joy, Evelyn, and Waymond, to structure my thoughts. This film uses sci-fi and action to create a setting that explores the theme of intergenerational trauma. And the film centers this on the character of Joy, whose struggles have been materialized into this force of Jobu Tupaki and presents the conflict that drives the film. And her mother, Evelyn's story arc, has to do with her really coming to understand her daughter's experiences. And through this mother-daughter relationship, there's a lot of healing that goes on. And so it can feel very therapeutic to watch this happen on screen, because on one hand, I related to Joy's experiences that made her feel that there was this divide between her generation and the previous generations, and that there was this lack of understanding and empathy. But also it becomes this imaginative space where you relate to some of the things that are happening, but it also is providing something hopeful for you to see that maybe people can change. You know, maybe my parents can really develop a deeper relationship with me or understand me in a deeper way, because the film is this sort of vehicle that allows you to process your feelings and imagine a different kind of story. And it's really beautiful to see how in the beginning they have this fraught relationship, but Evelyn learns how to really show her love for her daughter. This whole notion of this film being this healing, imaginative space reminds me of that Shang-Chi meme where it says that the most unrealistic part of Shang-Chi was when the mom says, "I'm proud of you." I also find it interesting how this story is shaped around Evelyn as a main character. In recent years, the Chinese American films we've gotten have largely been focused on protagonists who represent the younger generation, because that is who the directors and the filmmakers are telling that story from. So I think it's really interesting that Evelyn's the main character, and she comes from a place that's in between the generations because she has this baggage with her father, and she's also trying to sort out her relationship with her daughter and trying to bridge that gap between those two generations. I think it was really interesting to examine this mother-daughter relationship from that perspective, and having the daughter be central to the story and to have her experiences be part of the conflict of the story, and yet to view it from the lens of the mother. It was just interesting to get out of my own perspective as a young person and to just view that mother-daughter dynamic in a different way. It's also just really amazing to see an older woman be the main character here. And Michelle Yeoh is almost 60 and she's such a badass. She can do the action stunts and she can make you laugh and cry. So I loved this role for her. There's this interview clip where she was talking about how this was a role that she was really wanting and waiting for.
This is something I've been waiting for a long time. That's going to give me the opportunity to show my fans, my family, my audience, what I'm capable of. To be funny, to be real, to be sad. Finally, somebody understood that I can do all these things.
It's sad that she's been acting for decades and she's only now getting this kind of role, but I'm glad that she finally got this opportunity. Another thing I want to talk about is the languages in this film. There is English, Cantonese, and Mandarin spoken in the film. I speak Cantonese, so it was really special to be able to see that so prominently featured in the film, because a lot of the times it's kind of a either or situation of them speaking Mandarin or Cantonese in a film. And so I always connect deeper when they do speak Cantonese because I understand it and it reminds me of my family and my upbringing. And I think it's so amazing that these actors were not only able to perform well in English, but it really carried into them speaking the other languages. And it's really amazing that they're even just fluent in multiple languages, and that often gets taken for granted when it comes to Asian actors in Hollywood. Language is also central to the plot because Joy isn't able to properly express herself, and this barrier is the experience of many children of immigrants. The feeling of coming out to elders and not having the words for it is also dramatized in a video that Alice Wu did for Oreo recently. Yes, Oreo, like the cookies. In the scene where we see the different version of Gong Gong, who speaks English fluently, it's used as a comedic moment when Joy says, "Oh, when did his English get so good?" And this stuck out to me because language plays a big role in how relationships are formed. And so it's interesting to think about this alternate universe where the grandpa actually speaks English. And for some people, there could be some sadness and longing behind that. Also, the fact that the main character speaks English with an accent is mind-blowing because Chinese accents have been ridiculed for so long and are still ridiculed. It is really a hopeful sign to me that this character speaks English with an accent and her vocabulary isn't as big as some people's, but it's a character who people have come to love and that it doesn't detract from their enjoyment of the film. So I think that that is really a hopeful thing to see. Next, I want to talk about my favorite character, Waymond, played by Ke Huy Quan. I did not know who Ke Huy Quan was before because he took a very long break from Hollywood, and that was because he did not get any roles after being a child actor. He was not able to find roles despite being in big, successful blockbuster movies. And so he shifted to being behind the camera, and it was only until Crazy Rich Asians came out that he felt that maybe he would be able to get opportunities again and start acting again.
I remember watching it 3 times in the theaters, and I cried every single time.
I've heard a lot of people say that, actually.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
It really moved them.
It moved me. It was a great movie. And I also cried because I had serious FOMO. Well, I called my agent friend and asked him if he wanted to represent me. And this is after decades. And literally 2 weeks later, I got a call about this movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I feel like that is so crazy because I think he was perfect in this role, and there easily could have been a universe where he didn't have this role and that he was not even acting at all. And so I'm very happy for both him and Michelle Yeoh and Stephanie Hsu that they're able to play these characters and that this film was able to be realized. The reason I love Waymond is because he is this dorky, lovable dad with his fanny pack, and he's also this mysterious secret agent kind of dad. And my most favorite of all, he is this suave romantic dad that is really reminiscent of films like In the Mood for Love, and Ke Huy Quan actually has worked with Wong Kar-wai before, and so he said it was fun for him to channel some of that Tony Leung energy. I am obsessed with his character in that movie star universe. Have you seen these fake mock-up posters that they did. Amazing. In the Mood for Love really was impactful for me because it is such a beautifully done film, but also just showed me that Chinese people were capable of being in love stories and playing these super romantic and sexy characters. And I love that that sort of energy is present here in this film with those scenes. There's still a huge lack of Asian characters in romance films. It's starting to get a little bit better, but I love that there is a little bit of romance in this film. I was not expecting it. There's so many unexpected pleasures of this film, from the way that it deals with intergenerational trauma to the romance. It's got it all. And this really comes back to that idea of these complex, nuanced characters and the way that they are able to portray this range of emotions and not being confined to stereotypes or being a background character or being fetishized, but instead being able to have their own agency and showing that they can have love and all of these other things that we have not been granted on screen for so long. All right, so I want to end this video by talking about this. The interviewer said that Asian storytellers are having a big moment right now in Hollywood. And Michelle Yeoh, who is the subject of the interview, said, "I hope this is not just a moment, we are here to stay." I think that this is a reminder that Asian representation is something that is still being fought for, and it's something that we shouldn't take for granted. And some people may see this as a moment rather than something that we have really been working towards, that we have deserved, and that we deserve more of. And I don't want to take this film for granted because it's so amazing that we have this. These characters are not reduced to stereotypes, that they aren't the butt of the joke, that you will laugh with them and not at them. I have been waiting most of my life for films like this. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
So thank you for listening to me ramble, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts on the film, and maybe I will do more of these movie review type of videos. I usually talk about books online, but I do want to talk more about movies. So please let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in another video.